Hi everyone, welcome to Australia-India Quiz Part 2. Uh, we're very glad to see most of you are now taking active interest in Australia-India private capital market space. Welcome to all of you to also listen more about Tat Expo, which is our major capital markets trade and investment program that we do on an annual basis across Australia, India. And we are inviting 15 Indian companies to join us in Australia between 22nd of July to 26th of July. And then we will repeat the same program to India in September between 23rd and 27th.
Yeah, and we've been actively promoting this dialogue, Australia-India dialogue, over the last 6 years, and annually we've been conducting this expo. And this year's quiz is a leadway into that. So those who are participating in the quiz could potentially come along with us to Bangalore in the week commencing 23rd of September. And just to kick things off, before we share the link to the quiz this week, Ram, in your recent private capital markets update, you have mentioned in length about the Australia-India opportunity. Can you provide some insights into that?
Sure. I think, Pras, one thing we've been noticing at the capital recently is the private capital markets or private equity-led markets across Asia Pac is definitely getting to be one of the largest sectors that whole world is watching very closely. If you look at some of the major insights that Bain Consulting put out in their most recent Asia Pac private equity report, they say that whilst China is still leading the pack about attracting major amount of private equity money, India and Australia are basically taking the second and third positions in terms of attracting maximum amount of private equity money within the Asia Pac space. And now we are talking about India, which is definitely growing places and in the world of hyper venture capitalism, where to the likes of SoftBanks and Alibabas are throwing significant sum of money into India. Multiples of billions of dollars have been invested in India, mainly in the private capital markets. And that is where we see a significant appetite for new innovation and new breakthroughs and new unicorns to now be coming out of India, just like what we've seen out of the Valley for a very long time.
Yes. Well, also recently, Mr. Amitabh Kant, who was visiting Sydney, CEO of Niti Aayog, he was at the Sydney Startup Hub, and he was talking about some of the latest, opportunities in India and what's happening. Can you share some of your insights around his comments?
Sure. I think Mr. Amitabh Kant from Niti Aayog, National Institute of Transforming India, which is a brand new organization which is brought to life in the current government by BJP-led NDA government. And one of the major objectives of Niti Aayog is to basically embrace innovation, embrace the emerging technologies like the blockchain, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and more so to really provide the young Indian mindset, the much needed entrepreneurial spirit. And to that effect, under the broader objectives of Niti Aayog, the government of India has taken some significant steps of actually building some of the largest information highways that ever exist in the world. Unlike most other countries where most of the significant data that you potentially see searched and accessed online is owned by Google, Facebook, and LinkedIn, most of the publicly available data today in India is actually owned by Government of India. The Government of India has built significant amount of information and data warehouses, and then allowed the private sector to innovate on these information highways, be it some of the interesting innovation around the national biometric ID, which they've rolled out, or the innovation around DigiLockers. It's a secured wallet system where they allow people to hold files for easy sharing purposes, or be it actually taking the concepts of robotics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to primary and higher secondary schools in India through what they call as Atal Innovation Centers or the Tinkering Labs. So the Government of India is actually trying to set up 10,000 Tinkering Labs across Indian primary and higher secondary school system, where they encourage kids to learn robotics, to learn artificial intelligence and create and be innovative as they go through the tertiary system. this is the new India most Australian capital markets and most Australian businessmen and women don't really know about. And this is the India that we wish to bring to Australia through the Tat Expo that we're going to conduct. And we hope that Australia actually embraces the new India and the new opportunity that India is actually bringing to Australia.
And Ron, we're noticing a significant appetite for the fintech sector on the ASX and the broader capital markets. Do you have anything to say about how Australian fintech companies can take advantage on the ASX?
Perhaps traditionally...
Oh, sorry, I mean the Indian fintech companies, how they can take advantage on the ASX.
Sure. So perhaps traditionally, Australian Stock Exchange and more broadly, Australian financial services sector has always been seen and has won a lot of respect globally for its innovation, for its rigor around regulation, for its compliance regime, and its ability to provide one of the most transparent and most robust capital markets ever existing in the world. To that effect, Australia has always been at the forefront in terms of providing innovation within the fintech sector. And the Australian Stock Exchange itself has definitely provided a much needed gateway to many such fintech companies, locally and globally established fintech companies, to take advantage of Australian Stock Exchange and its ability to provide much needed institutional investment capital to the upcoming and the established fintech sectors. Let it be the biggest case studies that we see in listed on the ASX today. Let's talk about Xero, a multi-billion-dollar company, innovation out of New Zealand, but now it's a shining light on the ASX. And let it be Computershare, one of the most respected, diversified technology/financial services firm, which is again listed on the ASX. Let it be the ASX itself, a very, very robust technology company, which is providing some of the most highly transparent capital markets tools available for investors to take advantage of. But let's talk about more new emerging fintech companies that we're noticing today. The astounding success that a company like Afterpay has seen since its listing in less than 4 years of its journey on the ASX, or let it be a company like Zip Money, again following the footsteps of Afterpay, listed on the ASX and finding significant success and ability to raise significant sums of primary and secondary capital markets access through the institutional investment community. And more recently, there was a company called Splitit, an Israeli fintech company listed on the ASX, providing much needed innovation around using credit cards to provide an installment-based payment system, purchasing decisions. And such many such global and local fintech companies are now embracing Australian Stock Exchange to access deep pools of capital. But we haven't observed that level of interest or take-up by Indian fintech companies, mainly the younger and growing Indian fintech companies taking advantage of ASX and its ability to provide stable and much needed institutional capital to build some of the most advanced fintech tools that India needs to frugally innovate and to build fintech solutions to the 600 odd million people who are still in an unbanked environment, and make these citizens more easily access some of the most innovative financial solutions available both in Indian ecosystem and broadly across the e-commerce and cross-border payment system.
And we'll be talking more about those in our next fortnightly quiz as well, about some of the opportunities that we're working on, about companies that are servicing the banking, the unbanked space, and more as well as we go through this process over the next few weeks leading up to the expo. Thank you all for participating in this week's quiz, and we'll be sharing the link with you shortly. And you'll have 10 minutes to complete the quiz and enter into the competition to win a prize and come along with us to India and Tat Expo to Bangalore in September. And we look forward to the companies from India to participate in Australia here on July 22nd that week, and being a part of this journey as we build this Australia-India corridor and build that bridge. So, Ram, thank you once again, and we look forward to seeing you all shortly. Cheers.
Thank you. All the best.